Hello. This week, our theme is vulnerability. And my invitation is for you to take this time to make this a moving prayer. So opening up your heart space to something in your life or someone or a group of people that you can send positive energy out to and make this a dedication to them. There's two things I want to say about what we're going to do, and mostly we're going to focus on backbends. So really opening up the front side of the body. That's going to literally make more space for our heart, right? And there is scientific research out there that says that the heart has its own central nervous system. So really thinking about moving, thinking, breathing from the heart. But also, we do know that the brain-body connection is a two-way street. So when your heart is open, your chest is lifted, your posture is strong, you will go out into the world with more confidence, more energy, feeling more connected. If your shoulders are rounded, you're kind of hunched over, it feeds into that sense of isolation and lack of energy and depression. So we can literally kind of change our mental state by the way we move our body. So we're going to start standing today. So I'm going to invite you to check in with your feet, lift your toes, spread them wide, maybe open up your palms. And as you do that, feel your inner thighs rotating inward slightly. That's going to draw your low belly in. Drop your tailbone. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, close your eyes. Take a moment to find your breath. And set your intention or dedication. And then letting that go, bring your hands back to your heart center, float your eyes open. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. We're going to do our spinal warm-up standing. So soften your knees, sit into your heels, resting your hands on your thighs. On an inhale, curling tailbone upward, gazing up slightly. And then exhale, take your elbows out to the side, make some more space, slowly and gently hollowing out that cat shape. Inhaling, gently arch. And exhaling, hollow out. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhaling, gently arching. Exhaling, hollow out. So maybe the motions are getting a little deeper. Inhaling, arch. And exhaling, hollow out. Good. And then drop your hips. Reach your fingertips upward. So this probably already feels like a back bend. You're going to draw your shoulder blades down, your tailbone toward your heels, firing up the legs. And inhale, come to standing. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Right. Take your arms up to the sky. Hold on to one wrist. Get really, really tall. And then exhale straight over to the side. So rooted into both feet equally. Maybe gazing upward, drawing that top shoulder back. Keep the low belly pulled in. And come on up. And we'll switch. So first getting nice and tall, and then exhaling to the side. Good. Inhaling, come on back up. Exhaling, release your arms down. And we're just going to do empty coat sleeves. So as if you had your arms tucked into your winter coat and your sleeves are just hanging loosely. So come on back to stillness. And come to the front of your mat. We'll start in some sun salutations. Inhaling, arms to the sky. Exhaling, puff your chest out, slowly swan dive forward. So our first deep forward fold. Be gentle. Exhaling, soften the knees. Inhaling, extend into half forward fold. Exhaling one more time. Softening the knees, inhaling, extend, halfway up. And this time exhaling, floating the fingertips down to the mat or a block. Take one leg back to high lunge. We're going to float that back knee down, maybe keep the toes curled under, and bring your hands to your thigh. Inhaling, sweep your arms up. And exhaling, hands to the mat. Inhaling to top of your push-up, either on your knees or your toes. And exhaling, chaturanga. Then check in with your feet, your legs. Make sure that your toes or tops of your feet are pushing into the mat. Your tailbone's reaching toward your heels. Your quads are engaged. Inhaling, gently arch in a cobra. And exhale, forehead to the mat. This time you're going to take your fingertips out to the side, making more space in your chest. So slightly forward of your shoulders. And again, inhaling, gently arch. And exhale, forehead to the mat. Let's do that again. Inhaling, use your legs. Keep your spine long. And exhaling. Then we're going to do a locust pose, Salambhasana. So inhaling, lift your heels. Reach your fingertips towards your heels. And take 3 deep breaths here. One more inhale. And exhaling, gently release. Squeeze your elbows in. Coming back up onto your knees. Exhaling, curl your toes under. So that same leg that was in back for your lunge is going to stay back. So inhale the opposite leg up. Exhale, pull the knee toward the nose so you can plant your foot between your hands. Then float that back knee down again. And bring your hands to your thigh. This might already feel a little bit different. Right? So grabbing a hold of block, if it's helpful, or a stack of books, bring it to the inside of your front foot. And then we're going to reach for the back of our, the top of our back foot. And so if you are unable to grab hold of your foot, you could grab your pant leg. You could use a strap. So in order to open the front side of the body, we have to work on opening the quadricep, the thigh, the hip flexor muscle. And then gently release that. So bring in your shoulders parallel to the short edge of your mat. Take that same arm and take it behind you for a tricep stretch. So this is the other part of opening up our front side of our body, right, is to open up the shoulders. And then exhale, slowly and gently release. We're going to inhale, lift that back knee, and on your exhale, come back to that deep forward fold. So counterposing, back bends, forward folds, maybe hold elbow to elbow, hang for a moment. Bring your attention back to that moving prayer. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling, fold. Then reverse your swan dive, arms to the sky. And exhaling, hands to your heart, and take a breath. And we'll do that same sequence on the other side. So inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, softening, dive forward. This time just one half forward fold. Inhaling, fingertips under the knees. Exhaling, bend the knees. Take the other leg back to a high lunge. Keep those toes curled under. Hands to the thigh. Right, and then take your fingertips up. Your next exhale is going to bring your hands to the mat. So the top of your push-up, knees or toes. And then exhaling, chaturanga, hips down last. And again, inhaling, cobra. Exhaling, forehead to the mat. This one might feel a little bit different already. Take your fingertips out and forward. Inhaling, gentle arch. Stay here for a breath. Keep the back of the neck long. Feel the front body stretch. And then exhaling, forehead to the mat. So this time with locust pose, you might want to interlace your hands behind your back. Inhaling. Squeeze those inner thighs together. We're here for 3 breaths. And exhale, gently release. Reversing your push-up, knees or toes, and come on back to downward dog. So lifting the opposite leg, right? We want to keep the lunge on the same side as when we went down. Float that back knee down. Once again, hands to the thigh. And then take your arms up. And exhaling. So every body is different, right? So if you can move more deeply into a back bend in any of these poses, definitely feel free. So I have a block on the inside of my front foot. I'm going to reach for my back foot. A little bit of a hamstring cramp there. Take good care of your body. Do what you need to do. And what can you release, soften, make longer? And exhaling, releasing that. Get your shoulders forward. Take that same arm up. And then hold the elbow. Increasing your spine, the arch. And exhaling. Hands back to the mat. We're going to lift that back thigh. And on your next exhale, take that deep forward fold again. Gently hanging. Then inhale halfway up. Exhale, soften the knees. Inhaling, arms to the sky. And exhaling, hands to your heart. We're going to do one more sun salutation. Inhaling, arms to the sky. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhaling, bend the knees, plant the hands. Take both legs back to the top of a push-up. Exhaling, chaturanga. Maybe you float your knees down or not. Inhaling, come up onto the tops of your feet, up dog. Take a breath here. And then exhaling, back to downward dog. Take another breath here. And then float your knees down. And come onto your knees. So if you have trouble being on your knees, you could grab a blanket and stick them under your knees. Right. Once again, grabbing hold of a block. If it's available to you, you're going to bring one leg forward. So this time, our hip stays right over our knee. Right. And you're going to inhale, take the arm of the front leg to the sky. Take that back. Take the arm of the standing leg to the sky. So on an exhale, you're going to lift your chest. It's kind of like a half camel pose. And you're going to back bend toward that block, so taking that block by your foot. Then you want to drop that front shoulder. Try and get them level toward the floor. Maybe you take the other arm up and let the head drop. Pull the low belly in, using that block for support as you come on up. Come on back to both knees. Drop your tailbone. We'll go right to the other side. So standing right over that bottom knee. Inhaling, take that same arm up. And as you exhale, you're going to start to fold back. So put your block where it needs to be, back by your foot. And then see if you can bring your shoulders back level to the ground as much as you can. And then maybe you increase the back bend. Pull the low belly in. Come on back up. And once again, coming to all fours. So don't want to do too much deep forward folding yet because we're going to do a couple more back bends. So maybe rock your hips from side to side. And then swing your feet around so that you can come onto the mat. So I'm actually going to flip myself around so that I have the wall. So gently lowering yourself to the mat. Do a couple variations of bridge pose. Right? So planting your feet hip width apart. On an inhale, you're going to lift your hips to the sky, tuck your shoulder blades together. Maybe interlacing your hands behind your back, under your hips. Just lift, lift, lift. One more deep inhale. And exhaling, release the hands and drop the hips. Maybe take your knees from side to side. So being mindful of your own body, you might want to do a bridge pose again. You might not feel quite warm enough. You might not feel quite warm enough to do a full wheel, but we could try it. So my experience has been that as long as my feet are on my sticky mat, I can come off it a little bit and bring my hands to the wall. So the reason I do it this way is because my wrists are not very flexible, and this allows me to open my shoulders and do my back bend without the pressure in my wrists. Right, so feet are planted, I'm pushing into the baseboard of my wall, and on an inhale, I'm going to lift my hips, maybe resting on my head for a moment, and then pushing away, trying to straighten the arms, really root those feet in, work on straightening the legs, be careful your mat's not slipping, and then I'm going to slowly come to my head again. And then exhaling, release my hips down. So when you've finished your second bridge, take a breath. Good. And then slowly and gently draw your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. I'm going to move myself back onto my mat completely. So check in with your body. Notice how it feels. Maybe you want to do another easy spinal twist. One last time, come back to that dedication that you set. Find your breath, and when you're ready, perhaps stretching your legs out for the most important pose of all, Shavasana. Silence and stillness. Fully alert. Heart open. Take 3 more deep breaths. As you finish your last breath, feeling your body completely supported. And slowly and gently bending your knees, getting some motion going in your body. When you're ready, drag your knees into your chest again so that you can roll to one side. Push yourself up to seated. Again, spine long, hips and legs heavy. So remember, you can be vulnerable, especially in your caregiving, integrating your own experiences into your story so that you can share it with others. Remembering that it is not a sign of weakness, but rather, as Brené Brown says, our greatest act of courage. So inhaling, bring your hands to your heart center. Exhaling, bow your head to your own heart, acknowledging your heart, your courage, your willingness to be vulnerable with others. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Godspeed.